Welcome back to Daytime. It's time for Maggie and the Moms, where we celebrate but never sugarcoat parenting. On our panel today, Sapna Doshi. She is the founder of We Go Kids, which is a wonderful resource for parents. But I think, Sapna, maybe more impressively, is that you are the mother of, as she puts it, 3 tantrum-free triplets. That's hard to say, and much harder to pull off, I'm sure.
Yes, it's definitely been a steep learning curve with triplets who are now 8 years old.
8 years old, wow. Well, we're going to definitely heed all your parenting advice today. Margaret Zakarian is back. She's also a mother of 3, not triplets though. She's got a boy and 2 girls, and the 2 girls I know you recognize. They've been here many times to cook for us because they are budding chefs and the authors of this book, The Family That Cooks Together. Back with us again is Laura Byrne, a mother of 2, like me. She's the editor of Tampa Bay Parenting Magazine, and today Laura has brought us an exclusive sneak peek at the April cover of the magazine. This is Zoo Tampa's new mascot, Manny T. Beautiful cover. Also in this issue, so instead of writing for the magazine, as I usually do, I'm featured in it because my friend over here, Laura, turned the tables on me. And wrote about my new chapter here at Daytime as host. So thank you for that, Laura.
You know, we had to follow up with you too. And it is about new chapters, right? Are we all not kind of in that season of our lives where we're looking for that next step in that next chapter?
Yes.
And you embody that so perfectly.
Well, thanks. It's great when you can find something that works. Balance, the ever-elusive balance that we all try to find as moms. All right, ladies, topic number 1 involves something that's been in the news lately, a push by a young woman in Sydney, Australia. She's trying to get schools to begin educating kids at a much younger age about the notion of consent, because she feels that this would greatly reduce sexual assault. But there's a wonderful article in The Guardian this month where they offer some tips for teaching young kids about consent early on. So they say, number 1, we as parents need to stop forcing them to do things they don't want to do. Now, this isn't their responsibilities. This is things like don't force them to sit on Santa's lap or to go on a roller coaster if they really don't want to go. Number 2, eliminate taboo subjects. That means make sure they know they can talk to you about anything. Because if you don't tell them about, let's say, sex, for example, they're going to go looking for that information somewhere else and maybe get a different message than you want them to have. Teach them to seek others' consent. This one I love. I never thought of it this way before. Even when they're playing as little kids with other kids, have them say, can I hold your hand? Do you want to play? Seek the consent of the other person. And lastly, have the community model consent. That means the other people in your children's lives, like the doctor. When they go to the doctor, have him or her say, I'm going to lift up your shirt to look at your belly. Is that okay? And your mom's in the room. Is that okay with her? I love all of these. I think they're brilliant, and I never really thought about the notion of starting so young. Laura, what about you?
I love the idea of teaching our kids very early on setting boundaries. And I think this is something that we can do throughout our lives. I, as an adult, am still learning how to set boundaries and teaching and reteaching myself. And for kids, I think when they learn how to respect their own boundaries, as you just said, they're also learning how to respect the boundaries of other people. So absolutely, I agree with this. And it's something that we do try to do at home as well with our kids.
Good. What about you, Margaret?
I mean, when I read this article, I thought, God, like, how did we miss this piece? It seems something after you hear it, like, how was this not such an integral part of sex ed?
Yes.
So I'm so thankful for her advocacy for that. It's so universal. Sometimes sex ed can be such a hot topic in terms of age that they're teaching it or what they're teaching, and people have different opinions. This one across the board is something that's, you know, completely universal. And then starting so young with the Santa Claus, I mean, we've all been in that situation, like, oh, just go do it. Just go do it for what? Like, so we can get a photo?
Yeah.
You know, so another aha moment, a piece that I probably have missed 1,000 times. I'm so happy to read the article to, like, you know, reprogram some of that messaging.
Yes, I want to mention, gosh, I hope I wrote it down, the author's name of that article. It's in The Guardian. It's a March 20th. Sapna, while you're telling us your take on it, oh, I found it. Sally Dillon, look it up. It's from The Guardian. It's a really, really great article. Sapna, what was your take on it?
Yeah, we started early with the triplets. I think setting boundaries is a critical piece that we really could nurture more in our children, and especially along the lines of sitting on Santa's lap, but also hugging relatives when they're come to the house, new relatives, or when they're leaving. Yes. You know, give grandpa a hug or give grandmama a hug, and allowing them to set their own boundaries, whether they want to do that or not.
I agree wholeheartedly. It's all about teaching kids from the beginning. You have a choice, your say and your opinion matter, and so does everybody else's. So I thought it was great. Although there is one notable exception to that rule, the don't force your kids to do something they don't want to do rule, and that is chores. That's topic number 2. We all agree we have to force kids to do chores because it's good for them, and now there's science to back that up. These researchers who were looking into a Harvard grant study, they found kind of a math formula. They say that a kid who grows up with love and develops a strong work ethic will turn into a successful and happy adult. So the love part, I think, is easy for all of us to pull off. We can love our kids to death all day long. But how do you ladies instill a strong work ethic in your children? Sapna?
Yeah, so my parenting style is kind of stemmed from social emotional learning. So in that, one of the pillars of emotional intelligence is nurturing motivation and that inner drive that kids already have. So I noticed at the age of 2, my triplets wanted to empty the dishwasher because they saw me doing it and wanted to mimic that behavior. So my brain definitely went to broken dishes and bleeding babies.
Right.
So I just put non-breakables in the bottom rack and let them do that. And I think that is a really small thing that we can do, is really whatever they want and are motivated to do, nurture that.
Phenomenal advice and a great idea, right?
Incredible. You are so well equipped for triplets.
That's why God gave her triplets.
Yeah, you can come on over. Yes, the chore thing, again, another aha moment. The point of the chore is not to cross it off my to-do list, but to teach them about wanting to help. So again, as soon as this notion came up, I thought, oh my gosh, mom guilt. And I said, no, I'm not gonna mom guilt, I'm just gonna go forwards and, you know, retrain what I'm thinking of. The point isn't to ask them to get it done, it's to motivate them and make them feel happy about helping.
Amen.
So I love that.
Do you give your kids chores, Laura?
Yeah, we do little things. Like I have, when I'm putting or folding laundry, I have them put it in their drawer. Maybe not hang up the clothes because then it just gets to be a mess and they can't always reach it, but they can put away their shorts or their pajamas and the other things. And then just the other day, our lawn guy was taking forever to come to the house. We had pollen seeds all over the yard, so in the driveway. Sorry if he's watching. He did eventually come. So I had my 5-year-old out there helping me sweep and just scooping it up and getting it out of the way. And he was happy to help, thrilled to help. And we just bought them wallets last week.
Oh,
and
that's a good one.
The idea of earning an allowance, we talked about that motivation. So it's like, hey, if you help out around the house, we will reward you for it. But there are just some things that you expect them to do. And I try to make it easy by, we worked with a professional organizer and now everything has a place. So it's not just like throwing everything. So they know that certain things go where they need to go and it makes it a little bit easier for everyone.
All great advice, moms. All right, it's time to spin the wheel of topics. So we're gonna spin this wheel and see topic number 1. And oh, it has stopped at mom rules. Yes, so yes, we do rule, but this is more specifically about a rule in your house that's important. Let's start with you.
2 hours of outside time for every 1 hour of screen time.
2 hours of outside time for every 1 hour of screen time. Wonderful one.
Excellent. No eating on the second floor. I scare them with, there will be bugs in your room, so no eating.
Yes.
I need to use that one for the car because I just cleaned it out.
Oh, yeah, that's a whole other battle.
Oh, so my turn?
Your turn, sorry.
Please, say please and thank you. And this is something my husband definitely harps on my kids more than I do. I am trying because it is something we have to constantly remind them of. And I forget sometimes to say, please, can you do this? Or thank you. So it's a nice reminder for me too. We're not intentionally being rude, but just trying to instill that. Just always say please and always say thank you.
All good.
Even to mom and dad.
One of mine is take at least 1 hour on Friday afternoon when you're just dying to start your weekend to do your homework. They hate me so much, but they're always glad they did because they got it over with and now they can just enjoy their weekend. I always say do the hardest thing first so you don't have to be worried about it all the time. All right, we have time for one more quick spin and let's do it. Oh, I feel like we could have so many examples of this, at least in my life. Mom's embarrassing. Are you ever embarrassing, Sapna, to your kids?
I'm still, so they're 8, so I'm still in the I love my mom is awesome, come play with me stage.
Wow.
So I'm gonna stay there as long as I possibly can.
Good for you. What about you, Margaret?
I take a lot of work calls on the way to school pickup, and so it's on speakerphone, and then when they open the door to get in the car, it's like normal volume to me, but then it's actually really loud. And like all of their friends are like, So that I'm trying to work on.
My kids make me turn down the radio as we're pulling up to when they're about to
Yes.
open. They're like, turn it down. We can't have them know that you listen to
Yes.
that. What about you, Laura?
Same boat as you. My kids are 8 and 5. I'm not quite in that stage of embarrassing them yet, but I'm seeing hints of it with my 8-year-old if I try to like hug him or say something in front of his friends. But yeah, it's coming. I know it is.
It's coming. It's coming. You're right.
I'm not ready for it, but I know it's coming.
Well, I have so many examples, like I said, but one that comes to mind is I scream too loudly at my son's games. And not only that, but sometimes I scream the wrong thing. Like when he started playing baseball, I would go, good eye, good eye. And my husband's like, it was a strike, not a ball. I'm like, oh, sorry. I don't care, though. I got to cheer for my son. Thank you, ladies, so much for being here and for all the great advice as usual.
Thanks for having me.
Stay tuned. Daytime. We'll be right back.